Gaur Premanande! All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shishi Guru and Gauranga.
My fortune, bro. Shabas. जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन भज जन रंजन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Jai Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Jai Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are reading from 3rd canto, 5th chapter, verse number 3. Janasya Krishnad vimukhasya daivat adharmashilasya sudukhitasya anugrahayeha charanti nunam bhutani bhavyani janardanasya janasya krishnad vimukhasya daivat adharmashilasya sudukhitasya anugrahayeha charanti nunam bhutani bhavyani janardanasya janasya krishnad vimukhasya daivat adharmashilasya sudukhitasya anugrahayeha charanti nunam bhutani bhavyani janardanasya adharmashilasya sudukhitasya anugrahayeha charanti nunam bhutani bhavyani janardanasya जनस्य कृष्णाद् विमुखस्य दैवात् अधर्मशीलस्य सुदुःखितस्य अनुग्रहायेह चरन्ति नूनम् भूतानि भव्यानि जनार्दनस्य जनस्य कृष्णात् विमुखस्य दैवात् अधर्मशीलस्य सुदुःखितस्य अनुग्रहायेह चरन्ति नूनम् भूतानि भव्यानि जनार्दनस्य जनस्य कृष्णात् विमुखस्य दैवात् अधर्मशीलस्य सुदुःखितस्य अनुग्रहायेह चरन्ति नूनम् भूतानि भव्यानि जनार्दनस्य. माताजी's. जनस्य कृष्णात् विमुखस्य दैवात् अधर्मशीलस्य सुदुःखितस्य अनुग्रहायेह चरन्ति नूनम् भूतानि भव्यानि जनार्दनस्य. Janasya, of the common man, Krishnat, from the Supreme Lord, from the Supreme Lord Krishna, Vimukhasya, of the one who has turned his face against the Lord, Daivat, by the influence of external energy, Adharmashilasya, of one who is engaged in irreligion, Sudukhitasya, of one who is always unhappy, Anugrahaya, due to being compassionate towards them, Iha, in this world, Charanti, wander, Nunam, certainly, Bhutani, persons, Bhavyani, great philanthropic souls, Janardanasya, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Translation. O my Lord, great philanthropic souls travel on the earth on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to show compassion to the fallen souls who are averse to the sense of subordination to the Lord. Purport. To be obedient to the wishes of the Supreme Lord is the natural position of every living entity. But due only to past misdeeds, a living being becomes averse to the sense of subordination to the Lord and suffers all the miseries of material existence. No one has anything to do but render devotional service to Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Therefore, any activity other than transcendental loving service to the Lord is more or less a rebellious action against the Supreme Will. All fruitive activity, empirical philosophy, and mysticism are more or less against the sense of subordination to the Lord, and any living entity engaged in such rebellious activity is more or less condemned by the laws of material nature, which work under the subordination of the Lord. Great unalloyed devotees of the Lord are compassionate towards the fallen, and therefore they travel all over the world with the mission of bringing souls back to Godhead, back to home. Such pure devotees of the Lord carry the message of Godhead in order to deliver the fallen souls. And therefore, the common man who is bewildered by the influence of external energy of the Lord should avail himself of their association. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Welcome all of you to this program of discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam. And I wish to pay my humble obeisances to all the wonderful souls. My senior God brothers, Madan Gopal Prabhu is here, Sri Chaitanya Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. See, in any language, commas have a lot of importance. If you don't put commas correctly, then you cannot understand a sentence. The magic of Sanskrit is that Sanskrit does not have any commas. Have you ever seen any text in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, where commas are put? No. So if you remove commas, then, it's difficult to interpret a particular verse. Like there was this in our childhood, we used to learn Subhashit Mala. So there was one verse, Kasturi Jayate Kasmat, Ko Hanti Karinam Shatam, Kim Kuryat Kataro Yuddhe, Mrugat Simha Palayate. One shloka was there. Okay. Now this is not having any commas, so you don't know how the shloka is to be interpreted, right? So the meaning, literal meaning of this verse is Kasturi Jayate Kasmat. From whom do we get musk? Kohanti Karanam Shatam. 100 elephants who can slay. Kim Kuryat Kataro Yuddhe. A timid person will do what in case of war? And the fourth sentence is Mrugat Simha Palayate. Ultimately, a lion will run away from the deer. So, doesn't make any sense. So actually, the thing is, each sentence, each word of the fourth line is an answer to each one of these questions. So, Mrugat Simha Palayate is the last line. The first line is, Kasturi Jayate Kasmat. Whom do you get the musk from? Mrugat. I get it from the deer. Kohanti Karanam Shatam. Who can kill 100 elephants? Simha. Kim Kuryat Kataro Yuddhe. A timid person, what will he do in the war? Palayat. Will run away. So if there are no commas, you cannot understand. You need a person to tell, okay, this is... Even in the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is one verse like this. I'll tell you that verse. Ishware tad adhineshu balisheshu dushatsucha prema maitri krupopeksha yah karoti samadhyama. A famous verse, everyone knows this. Right? If you just read the entire meaning of it, it would mean that one person who shows love, friendship, mercy, and ignorance. To whom? To whom? To those people, those innocent people who love God and hate God. Unto such people, such innocent people who love God and hate God, such a person shows love, friendship, mercy, and ignorance. There is no meaning to this verse. So then again, same thing. Ishware, unto God, what is to be done? Prema. Then tad adhineshu, those who are surrendered to God, what is to be done? Maitri. Then balisheshu, those who are innocent people, what is to be done with them? Krupa. And dvishatsu, those who are jealous of God, what is to be done with them? Upeksha. Ignore them. One who does this is a madhyamadhikari. So without commas, it becomes difficult. This verse actually is something like that. If you don't put commas, then the meaning becomes difficult to understand. So what is this verse talking about? Prabhupada very nicely mentioned in the translation. It is talking about why do the great souls travel. So the great souls travel to show mercy to fallen souls. That's why the great souls travel. But if you don't put commas here, my specs. Now if you don't put commas, and we sing it the way we rhymed it, right? So we all sang the verse right now. Janasya Krishnat Vimukhasya Daivat Adharmashilasya Sudukhitasya. So Janasya Krishnat would mean all the people who have come from Krishna. So the great souls, they travel to show mercy to whom? To all the people who come from Krishna. So are there any people who are not coming from Krishna? And Vimukhasya Daivat, to those people who are Vimukhasya Daivat. What is the meaning of that? That means person who has turned his face away from Daiva. Now Shastras say that Daiva is such a thing that just like a small calf can find his or her mother, amongst millions of cows. Similarly, your Daiva will find you. Even if you are millions of people around, your Daiva will exactly come to you only. Right? Many years back, I remember this story when there was this attack on the American Twin Towers. And after the attack, everyone was just running away. They were just running. And because of that crash of the aeroplanes, one whole window glass came down flying. And one devotee was running, and there was another person next to him who was also running. And that glass cut off that person's neck, and his head fell on the ground, and the body kept running for some distance. And this devotee saw this. And he said, if this glass would have just been few inches this side, or another splinter of the glass would have been few inches this side, I was gone. But the karma, just like, a calf looks for a cow, just comes to exact that person. You may be sitting next to that person. One of our very close friends, devotee, our godbrother, he was traveling through these trains when the bomb blast took place. Priya Prabhu. Most of you know him, right? The bomb was kept in a compartment which was just above him. So he was actually supposed to sit in the window. A person fought with him that, why should you sit in the window? I have come first, so I will sit in the window. So he made him sit on another seat, and that person sat in the window. And the bomb was exactly above that. And all this person remembers is a big boom. Nothing after that. And after some time, he actually got up, and he could not hear anything. And everyone in the compartment was dead, except this person. There were people with fingers and cut body parts on his thighs and everything. He just brushed aside everything. And he had a bead bag in his hand. We was chanting. The bead bag flew away from the window on the track. When he jumped from the track, the bead bag was still there. Torn bead bag with the beads inside. He picked up the feedback. He said, यार मेरे को सुना ही नहीं दे रहे लेकिन क्या हो गया? And his clothes were all, face must have become black or whatever. I don't know. People were just looking at it. One person in the entire compartment alive. Everyone else died. So karma is, you may be sitting next to a person, something happening, nothing will happen to you, something will happen to him, or something will happen to you, nothing will happen to him. It exactly comes. So what is the chance that a person can say, oh, I am vimukhasya daivat. I have turned my face away from Daiva. Even if you have turned your face, the Daiva is going to come and stand in front of you. So Janasya Krishnat Vimukhasya Daivat doesn't directly mean, at least doesn't give a relevant meaning to the verse. So our acharyas explain how to put commas here. So if you read Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, he mentions how you understand this verse. So he says, this is how you read it. Janasya, comma, Krishnat Vimukhasya, comma, Daivat Adharmashilasya, comma, Sudukhitasya, comma. And then Anugraha Yaha Charanti Nunam, Bhutani Bhavyani Janartanasya. This is how it has to be read. So of course, we are supposed to discuss Bhagavatam. We may be discussing Sanskrit here. But if you just read it like this, then it makes a lot of sense. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, okay, whom are we talking about? We are talking about, so let's say if I have to say that only one great soul is there. Only one great soul, then I would say, Janardanasya bhutam bhavyam charanti. Somebody who belongs to Janardan, a great soul who belongs to Lord Janardan, he moves around. Okay. If I have to say in plural, then I have to say Bhutani Bhavyani. So Janardanasya Bhutani Bhavyani Charanti. Great souls of Lord Krishna, they travel. Bhutani Bhavyani Charanti. Why do they travel? Anugraha Yeha Charanti. To show anugraha. That's why they travel. Whom to show anugraha? Janasya. Now, the wonderful part of this verse is that Janasya is a singular and Bhutani Bhavyani is plural. Means for one person, there are many great souls actually who are traveling. Means generally here, I was recently seeing a video, and they were saying that in India, among 1,000 people, for 1,000 people, you have 185 policemen. That is the ratio. Among 1,000 people, and they said this is the least in the world. And in United States of America, it is 315 policemen. But in spiritual world, for one person, there are many great souls. They are waiting. So Krishna has created it like that. Although, you see, just see the wonderful mathematics. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says that, oh, out of hundreds and thousands, there is one person who is interested. Out of many, many such hundreds and thousands, one becomes a devotee of Krishna. But when it comes to giving mercy, for one common man, there are many Bhutani Bhavyani traveling. एक से छूट गया तो दूसरा पकड़ लेगा, उससे छूट गया तो तीसरा पकड़ लेगा, है ना? So amazing. I was just surprised how Prabhupada, he uses the word Jana. Jana is actually that way, by nature it's a plural word. But Prabhupada translates Janasya means of the common man, singular. For one person, many great souls. So beautiful. Huh? So why are they traveling? To show mercy to that one common man. Who is that common man? That common man is Krishnat Vimukhasya, Daivat Adharmashilasya, and therefore Sudukhitasya. He has turned his face away from Krishna. He is unfortunately, by the power of material nature, Prabhupada writes here, Daivat is by the influence of external energy. By the influence of external energy, that person is unfortunately irreligious. And therefore he is Sudukhitasya. He is troubled, he is miserable. To show mercy to such people, many, many, many great souls are traveling. This is how the verse. So when I was looking at these various Sanskrit words, I could understand that each one of these words have various cross-references. In Bhagavatam, in many pastimes of Srila Prabhupada, and through those, we can understand this verse even better. That's what So we will go one by one. So the first is Krishnat Vimukhasya. Yeah? One who has turned his face away from Krishna. There's a very famous story that when Srila Prabhupada was traveling in aeroplane, and I think there was a major or a captain who met Prabhupada. And he asked Prabhupada that why there is so much of evil in this world. And Prabhupada said, actually there is nothing like evil. Evil is simply absence of goodness. And then he gave explanation. He said there is nothing like darkness. Darkness is simply absence of light. Like when you measure light, there are these lumens and all these units in which you measure the light, right? Darkness is 0 lumens. But do you have something like minus 10 lumens or minus 20 lumens for darkness? No. Because darkness on its own has no existence. On its own, it has no power. Simply absence of light is darkness. So Prabhupada said, similarly, absence of goodness is evil. Right? So Krishnat Vimukhasya. So Prabhupada named his magazine also Back to Godhead. And then he wrote there, right? Krishna is light, ignorance is darkness. Wherever there is Krishna, there is no ignorance. Krishna Surya Sama, Maya Hoy Andhakar. Jahan Krishna, taha nahi Maya Radhikar. Right? So if you are facing Krishna, then there is light. The moment you turn your neck, you will see shadow. That is darkness. Right? So Vimukha. But when a person undergoes that, right, Bhagavatam explains that this situation of turning the face away from Krishna is the root cause of all the fear, anxiety, and so many different things. There is another verse in Bhagavatam where it says, what is that? Bhayam dvitiya bhinivesha tasyat ishat apetasya viparyo smriti. It says that a person, when he actually becomes scared or timid, or he wants to run away from the battle or run away from the problems, is that when he has turned his face away from Krishna. So therefore our Srila Prabhupada, he established Back to Godhead magazine. His name was Abhay Charnarvinda, one who is completely fearless. Because one is always looking at Krishna, one is always facing Krishna. There is no question of fear. There is no question of anxiety. Right? Such people who are in anxiety, who are in absolute fear, when great saintly people, these Bhutani, Bhavyani people, when they see them, what do they feel? Again, another verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, very famous verse, exact same word has been used, Vimukhasya. It is Prahlad Maharaj who says, Naivo duje paraduratarya vaitaranyas tadvirya gayana mahamruta magna chitta. Shoche tato vimukha chetasa indriya. Again, he uses the same word. So Prahlad Maharaj says that when I see such people who are vimukha chetasa, they have turned their face from Krishna. Say, my heart pains. As far as I am concerned, I don't have anything to worry about. Naivo tujhe, I never get upset. Right? I never become upset. But when I see people whose face is turned away from Krishna, that pains my heart. Right? So this Krishnasya Vimukhasya Krishnat. So that is a very major problem. That is the start of all the problems. What does it lead to? Daivat adharmashilasya. Daivat adharmashilasya. One understanding of Daivat adharmashilasya, Vishwanath Chaudhary Thakur says, he puts a comma between Daivat and adharmashilasya also. He says that Daivat means ones who are bound by their own karma. And adharmashilasya, because of their idlish activities, they are bound by their own karma. But when great people look at these personalities, what do they see? This is exactly how Prabhupada translates this verse. That this person has become adharmashilasya by influence of material energy. A very common example of that happens nowadays. Sometimes we see children who are born in house of devotees. You see sometimes, they may wear something, they may eat something, they may speak a particular language, right? And you feel that, this person is so fortunate. He has come in the house of devotees. From where that person has started speaking this language, why the person is wearing this type of thing, why he's eating that type of thing. Doubt comes in the mind, right? And then you go to the child and you say, my dear child, why are you doing like this? And what mostly the child will do is that, every parent has a sample ideal boy who may be a child of a senior devotee or child of a co-devotee, and your child will know who is that ideal boy or that ideal girl, because you will always say, see how that person is, see how that person. So when you say, why are you doing like this, why you are doing like this, child will take out his Instagram and say, even that person is doing like this. Exact that same person. See? Yeah, this is a very common thing. You must have seen all this. What I'm trying to say is that Daivat Adharma Shilasya, the influence of material energy is so much. How much can a person fight? How much will a person fight? The whole environment is becoming like that. You see, honestly, so many devotees who are gentle people, thoroughly honest, in their office they get exploited. Because the environment is not of honest and thoroughly gentle people. Right? And they feel, then what am I supposed to do? I'm also supposed to be cunning? And it's such a conflict for a person. Who is at fault? Now, whom can you blame? The whole environment is like that. Therefore, if some devotee is seen doing something wrong, right? Or even if a normal man is seen doing something wrong, can you directly say, oh, this person is a demon? No, you cannot say like that. He is Daivat Adharma Shilasya. And what is the reference verse for that? This Daivat Adharma Shilasya, very famous verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, Prayena Alpa Yusha Sabhya Kalavasmin Yuge Janaha Mandaha Sumanda Matayo Manda Bhagya Hi Upadrutaha. So people in Kali Yuga are Manda Bhagya. It is not their fault. The environment is like that. Manda Bhagya. Right? So Daivat Adharma Shilasya is Manda Bhagya Adharma Shilasya. It's like saying the same thing. उनका दैव ही ऐसा है, क्या करेंगे बेचारे? So, do you hate them? Do you say, oh, you are demons? No. Yeah. In whatever way possible, whichever way possible, you engage that person in Krishna's service. Somehow or other. Right? And if you recall each one of your lives, the way it became positive, the way you became devotees, you will see that there was some way somebody engaged you in Krishna's service. And more specifically, a devotee's service. And that changed your life completely. That person could have said that, oh, he's a demon, I don't want to talk to him. I remember in my life, the person who actually preached to me, I used to laugh at him. And I remember traveling through few of my friends that, this person speaks like that, he speaks like that, he says like that. And we were all having a hearty laugh on the different philosophical topics that that person talks about. The person who was preaching to me. That whole journey, I remember almost like 2 hours we were laughing on that topic. That how he says that there is Punarjanma, ha ha ha. How he's like... But he kept preaching to me. Yeah. I remember one day he just dumped few Gitas in my room. I said, okay, you now sell it. A few Gitas? Just like that. You give it to people. I said, okay. I gave it to people. Ho gaya service. Some service was done. The life starts changing. Right? So, we never say that this person is a demon, that person is a this. Daivat Adharma Shilasya. Right? Because of that, what happens? Because of that, Sudukhitasya. Now, this is a very, very important word. Sudukhitasya. You will say, Are, why? Either you say Sukhitasya or you say Dukhitasya. What is this new word, Sudukhitasya? Is it like, somebody who compiled this verse, maybe Vyasdev, he was trying to rhyme it. Adharma Shilasya Dukhitasya. सुनने में अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है यार, कुछ तो एक वर्ड मिसिंग है, तो चलो सु डाल दो बीच में. अधर्मशीलस्य सु, हाँ परफेक्ट, अभी परफेक्ट राइम हो गया. It's rhyme perfectly. I am not feeling that incompleteness. Chalo, go to next verse. Is it like that? Would Sutta Goswami, Shukadeva Goswami have put this sudukhitasya with this understanding? How do you understand this sudukhitasya? Right? See, imagine a situation where a devotee is an active preacher, prolific preacher, but something goes wrong. Maybe some minor fall down here or there or whatever. And that person lands up in heavenly planets. Heavenly planets. People are just enjoying. And he's a hardcore preacher. And like Krishna says, labhate purva dehikam. From previous lives, the memories are retained. So he retains all the memories of Bhagavad Gita, shlokas and everything. And he sees a Gandharva and Apsara enjoying in heavenly planets. Just all out. And he goes and he says, my dear Prabhu, ye hi samsparshaja bhoga dukkhayo naya evate. Adyantavanta kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. The Gandharva will just look at him. Who sent you here? Probably the Gandharva will go to the presiding deity of the heavenly planet. Sir, isko kisne admission diya? Who is this? It's something very relatable. Like now, most of us, we have crossed 45, approaching 50, become very health conscious. And sometimes you have a desire of eating something snacky, right? Like you want to have a vada pav. You come to temple 2-3. You may not come every Sunday because you're staying far. One Sunday in a month you come to temple. You see that vada pav counter there. And you get the vada pav. And you just want to enjoy it. And some fanatic Ayurvedic devotee, he sees that. And he comes to you and says that, Prabhu, you are having fried potato with besan? Oh, you are inviting heart attack. So what will you say? Are yaar, khate samay to mat bolo. Right? Let me have it first. Then you want to say whatever you want to say. Right? So going to heavenly planets and preaching is like that. Are enjoy karte samay to preaching mat karo. I understand you're talking Bhagavad Gita and everything. But they cannot relate to it. Right? So if you are a daivat sukhitasya, by destiny, you're destined to be unlimitedly happy, you cannot take to spiritual life. And if you are daivat dukhitasya, you are in hellish planets. You are being tortured. Let's say that same devotee now visits hellish planets. And he sees somebody's body being ripped apart by thorns. That Yamaduta is throwing him on the tree, pulling him down, the thorns are cutting his body apart. And this person says, see, dukkhayo naya evate. Yehi samsparshaja bhoga. I was telling you, just see how much misery. This person is suffering. He'll say, what are you talking? I cannot understand what you're saying. There is so much of pain, I cannot understand what you're saying. So the devotee may tell Yamaduta, sir, can you please wait for 5 minutes? I want to preach to him. Yamaduta will look at the devotee and say, you can exchange 5 minutes if you like. You take it, and then he will get, devotee will say, oh, forget it. So either if you are sukhitasya or you are dukhitasya, you cannot understand spiritual messages. Right? But if you are sudukhitasya, you can. So people are adharmashilasya. They are dukhitasya. But the dukkha is not continuous. You see, we discussed this some time back also. Kha means what? Kha means a space. Sukha means some happy space in between. So our life is could be full of misery. Misery. In between there is sukha, some space where misery is not there. In earthly planets, you will always have this situation. You can never have a continuously suffering person in hellish planets. Continuously enjoying person, heavenly planets. Here, misery, space. Misery, space. You will always have space. People say, can you give me some space? We are troubling a person. That is sukha, a happy space. A space in which there is no a good space, you know. So Prabhupada says, that famous statement, Prabhupada says, whenever you get time, chant Hare Krishna. There is this famous song also, no? Many teenage people, they sing that song. I have some space for you, that one lover is singing. I have a space for you, my baby, and I'm writing your name. That lover sings like that in that song. Very famous song. I don't know if you have heard it. So we also have some space in our life, and we know what name to write in that space. Right? What is the name? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Therefore, Radhanath Maharaj also once said that good times are preparation for bad times. Right? The good times are those spaces that your Daiva will give you. That space needs to be utilized. The great saintly people, they know this. They know that all these people, now they have a lot of blank spaces in their life. Let me go and fill it up. Let me go and fill it up. Right? They are not going to heavenly planets. They are not going to hellish planets. They are charanti here only. They are charanti here only. Only one person, Narad Muni, goes everywhere. All other great souls, they are only doing in Prithvi Loka, Bhuloka, where there are spaces. So they give their message. Yahan pe space, space. They find a space and they come and give it. This Sudukhitasya also, from one more perspective, see, this verse says that one who is Vimukhasya Krishnat and one who is Daivat Adharmashilasya, such a person is Sudukhitasya. There's a contention in this statement, right? If you go to a materialistic person and if you say, you are away from Krishna, he said, so what? Yeah, I am away from Krishna. You are Adharmashilasya. So what? Maybe from your point of view, I am Adharmashilasya. From my point of view, I am Dharmashilasya. Right? Then you say, but you are Sudukhitasya. He says, just shut up. I am not Sudukhitasya. I am enjoying. I remember many years back, I was traveling in this Mumbai-Pune Deccan Queen or one of those trains. And our Rajwasi Prabhu, you know, Brahmachari, now he is a Grahastha. He was with me. And there was a very handsome couple sitting in front of us. And that person somehow stuck a conversation. So Brajwasi Prabhu was explaining to him, and he explained a few things, and he said, see, ultimately, we are all suffering in this world. And this man and this girl look at each other, and they just laugh. They had a hearty laugh. Ha ha ha, we are suffering. What is he saying? We are suffering. We are enjoying. Right now I am enjoying. He just put her hand around her arms and said, see, I am enjoying. I have heard that many years back, somebody came to meet Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj. And that person made a similar comment. I think Gaurang Prabhu introduced that person to Radhanath Maharaj, and that person said, what are you saying? People are suffering. I am enjoying. And from that day onwards, his life became miserable. He spoke here like this. He went home, his life became absolutely miserable. So Gaurang Prabhu says, don't speak any such thing in front of a pure devotee. I don't know what happened to this particular boy in the train. But the point which I'm trying to say is that if you tell this to a person who is actually adharmashilasya and away from Krishna, they will say, I am not unhappy. I am not in misery. I am enjoying my life. On the contrary, if you go to a devotee who is having his face to Krishna, who is dharmashilasya, following regulatory principles, and you ask him, are you fully sukhitasya? He will say, no, I am not. How many of you can say that I am fully happy? Raise your hand. Yeah. One saint in Maharashtra, he said, Jagi sarva sukhi asa kona hai. You know, nobody is happy. Yeah. Nobody. Even a devotee cannot raise his hand and say, yes, I am not sudukhitasya. Correct? So is Bhagavatam then making a false statement? Is Bhagavatam saying that, oh, only these people, is amalam pramanam amalam? How can this be wrong? So I will just share some of my observations. Some of my observations. A materialistic person, he may be saying that I am happy, I am enjoying, whatever. But when bad time comes, oh my God, it is really bad. And I have seen it. I have seen from close. Like, I have seen a devotee having a particular problem and a materialistic person having the exact same problem. And you will see that the devotee is far better off. Far better off. Right? If you happen to get admitted to a hospital by Krishna arrangement, then you can see people around and you will understand what I'm trying to say. You will see cases. One of our godbrother, he was admitted to, I think, which is the hospital in Vile Parle? Government hospital? Cooper. Our godbrother, during the COVID times. And he said every person who was getting admitted to him next were dying out of COVID. And this person was absolutely scared. He said, well, every person they get admitted, they die. Another person gets admitted, die. He started seeing Yamadutas in front of his eyes, out of hallucination. He was so scared. But he came out completely safe. Nothing happened. He went through that trouble. See, he went through that pain, but far better off than another person. Far better off. You may see a person, you may say, no, Prabhu, I have seen people who they have problems in their life and they are not better off. They are not better off. In that situation, you will see some unknown strength comes from inside that person, and that person is able to have complete positive attitude and face that calamity without any problem. So either a person is far better off, or some unknown strength, and I cannot name devotees, but I have seen from very close. And you don't realize, how can this lady be so positive in her life? You just get completely surprised. But some strength, by sadhana, by Krishna's mercy, the strength is coming. And the person has full positive attitude. In fact, the person who goes to then console that man, oh, this problem, many people go through this problem, the person starts feeling that actually he is more happy than I am. I am having more problems than that person. So many such cases. And in case, let's say, the person doesn't have that strong will, that strong inner power, and a severe problem, then either that problem vanishes very fast, or the devotee vanishes very fast. As in, devotee vanishes as in, name bhakta pranashyati. A devotee never vanishes. But the problem escalates, and the person leaves. Either of the three things. Either of the three things. Either the person is far better off, or they have tremendous positive attitude, or the problem escalates and finished. No torture. I have seen this problem escalating and finishing even with the parents of devotees. So many. Parents of sincere devotees. They get some malignant disease, the problem escalates, finished. So many. Therefore, a materialistic person, although maybe saying that he is sukhitasya, he is still sudukhitasya. And a devotee, although maybe saying that I am sudukhitasya, he is actually far better off. And I'm not even talking about the spiritual side. I'm just talking about the pure material side. Material, there's nothing pure in material. But I'm just talking about material side. Right? Even materially speaking, a devotee is far, far, far better off. Initially, you will not realize it. Some of you who may be just 24 years old, 23 years old, you may not realize. But by the time you become 50 and you have seen people going through various problems, you will say, "Yaar, nahi, mere saath to aisa nahi hua tha. Yaar, I am much better than this." Right? You may say, "Oh, I have a very irritable wife." You go and see an irritable wife in the house of a karmi. You will say, "Yaar, I am far better off." I mean, so many things. I have a very naughty child. Go and see outside. I have a very bad stomach. Go and see outside. You will see, oh, I'm far better off. I'm far better off. Right? So this sudukhitasya is very important. Sudukhitasya, all, first of all, there are spaces in the life which these great souls can utilize to make us Krishna conscious. And on the strength of that Krishna consciousness, we are far better off. And then, how is that strength given to us? The next word is anugrahaya. Because that is anugrahaya. Right? So regarding this anugrahaya, let me just give me 1 minute, sorry. There's a beautiful passage in Upadeshamrut, and I want to read that passage. But before that, sorry, I lost it. My bad. Anyway, I have it in my memory, so I'll tell you. So before that, when a person is suffering, right? When a normal person is suffering, whom do we say is inflicting the pain to that person? Like typically people go to some astrologer and astrologer says कि ये देखो ये ग्रह यहाँ पे है, ये ग्रह आपको तकलीफ दे रहा है. This graha is troubling you. Why that word graha? I think I have mentioned this in the past also. Like we say, grahan lag gaya. No, there is grahan. Because one graha is swallowing the other graha. Right? A crocodile is known as graha. Correct? Why? Because she comes and catches you. Right? It comes and possesses you, catches you. Right? So for a normal person, they are under the control of this graha. So therefore, the exact word translation of graha cannot be planet. Because planet does not give you that meaning of somebody who captures. Planet means something who wanders. But graha means someone who captures. Right? Now Prabhupada writes very beautiful statement in Upadeshamrut. Prabhupada says that for a person to regain knowledge, one has to practice celibacy, one has to be avowedly truthful, one has to perform tapasya, and Prabhupada gives some 4 or 5 different things that a person has to do. And then Prabhupada says, and all these things can be easily achieved by simply accepting the instructions of a bona fide spiritual master. So by abstaining from sex life, by abstaining from sense gratification, by abstaining from so many things of speaking lies, what are we actually trying to do? We are trying to release that graha, that something is capturing you. Through tapasya, you are saying that, oh, if I can release it, if I can release it, if I can release it. Prabhupada says, that is not required. Ultimately, you can never be released. A full state of release is never possible. You can either be under the control of material energy or under the control of spiritual energy. So why you on your own don't submit to a great soul and say, okay, so long I have been tortured by this graha who is asking me to do so many things. Now I am myself putting under you. That becomes anugraha. So anugraha means you are accepting the bondage out of your own sweet desire. Yeah? That anugraha comes from the great soul. Didn't Srila Rupa Goswami say the same thing? He says, what is that? Katina katidha. What is that? Kama dinam katina katidha. Palita durnideshas. Tesham jata mai na karuna. Natrapa no pashanti. He says, Rupa Goswami says, I have been following the orders of so many desires. Kama dinam katina katidha. Palita. I have been following their orders. But they never became satisfied. Natrapa no pashanti. Utsujjayatam. I have given up all this. Athayadupate sampratam labdha buddhis. Now I got good intelligence. Tvam ayata sharanam. Now I have come to your shelter. Prabhupada writes the purport with beginning. He says, taking shelter of the God is not an artificial situation. It is natural for a living entity. Right? That is anugraha. Yeah? That anugraha comes. Anugraha means on your own you accepted it. Like once, I remember in my office once, they were distributing some samosas. And I picked up a samosa and I had it. So that had onion in it. So I kept the samosa aside. And then the person who was distributing said, "Hey, what happened to you?" I said, "Sorry, there was onion." He says, "I will tell your God. He will not mind it. Have it." I said, "Before you, I have told my God that I will not be eating it. God did not tell me that you don't eat this. I told God that I will not eat this because it's not good for me. Right? Therefore, I will follow." Why will Krishna mind? Will Krishna think that, oh, he has eaten onion, abhi maro isko? It's not, Krishna doesn't work with mob psychology. Find some problem with somebody and then maro isko. That doesn't happen in Krishna. He is forgiving. Right? So he will not say. But it's our responsibility. I have accepted anugraha. I have given that space in my life to Krishna and said, okay, in this space, Krishna, you rule. Other spaces, yes, currently planets are ruling, but by your power, ultimately, my entire life will be ruled by you. Therefore, to Prahlad Maharaj, it is mentioned, he is Krishna Graha Grahitatma. You know, he has only one Graha that is controlling his life, that is Krishna Graha Grahitatma. Fully surrendered to Narad Muni. What Narad Muni said, he just completely followed. Right? So, Anugraha. And then the last word which is mentioned, and I will speak this and then we can end. The last word, he says, Bhutani Bhavyani Janardanasya. The people who are these souls who are merciful, they have been addressed as Bhavya. Huge. Now this concept of Bhavya, we can understand through some analogies. Some ancient analogies, some recent analogies. At one point in time, the demigods and the demons decided to do churning of ocean. Both the bad people and the good people, they came together. Lord Vishnu guided them. Lord Vishnu supported a mountain from below in the form of Kurma avatar. Lord Vishnu held the mountain from the top in his own hands. And the demons and the demigods, they were churning the ocean. What came out was halahal. Poison came out. Right? When they went to Lord Vishnu, poison is coming out. Vishnu said, I can't do anything. You go to Lord Shiva. He will help. Why? He is Bhavya. He has large heart. He will help. They go to Lord Shiva. Shiva takes permission from his wife. Am I allowed? Then Shiva went and drank the whole poison. He could do it because he was Bhavya. Few hundreds years back, the entire India was filled with the Mughal Empire, the ocean of Mughal Empire. Kept churning the ocean. That churning only caused wrath of Aurangzeb in the form of halahal, vish. When Aurangzeb attacked Dakhan, by that time Shivaji Maharaj was left. The Vishnu had left. He was not there. Who was there? Shambhu, his son. Those of you who saw the movie, Chhawa, Shambhu was there. Shambhu wanted to destroy the poison. But as the Daiva had ordained, he had to drink it. He had to drink that entire wrath so that it doesn't come upon us. He drank it. And he did not utter a single word from his mouth. How could he do it? How could Shiva do it? Bhavya. They are Bhavya people. They can digest poison. When Srila Prabhupada was going to United States of America, he had 3 heart attacks on boat. One heart attack is so painful. People say death is like how many 10,000 scorpions biting? Or so many thousand. How does it matter? 2 scorpions also if you are finished. Some people say, no, 10,000. Some say, no, 4,000. It is irrelevant actually. But when heart attack comes, it is like those 10,000 scorpion biting you in your heart. That's the feeling that a person gets. Prabhupada went through 3 heart attacks on boat. How he could do it? Bhavya. He is Bhavya. he could drink that poison. And we know in the life of our own spiritual master, when he was trying to enter India, he was stopped and made to really put in so many bad ways that that person was treated. He had to drink that poison. Right? Any great soul, his litmus test will be taken. He will be put in front of poison. Yeah. And he has to take the poison. That is how it is. That is how it is. Without that, you don't become great. And you are able to take the poison only if you are bhavya. Otherwise, you will just collapse. You will not be able to stand it. Right? So therefore, why we have special place for Srila Prabhupada? Like he's there because he could take it. Somebody who could take it, that person is a great person. But there is one small thing, and all of those who are preaching Krishna consciousness, who are taking responsibilities for Krishna, you will feel that, my Guru Maharaj, he's such a great person. He's bhavya. He can digest poison. But you will see, slowly, he may be pushing you to take greater and greater responsibilities. And then you start feeling, oh my God, this poison I cannot take. Oh my God, this poison I cannot take. This poison I cannot take. But that's the way the life is. Bhutani bhavyani janardanasya. If you have to travel, and if you want to enlighten people, then poison comes. And only if you are bhavya, you can accept it. Otherwise, you cannot. And somehow it is ordained by the world that those who get into this profession, they are faced. All my senior God brothers, how many of you agree with me? This happens? Has hands raised? No, you're all. Yeah. So it's very painful, right? But that's why they are so special. That's why doing an offense to a devotee is the worst offense that you can do. So when you do an offense to a devotee, Bhagavatam says, Shapta, Hapta, what is that verse? Nasya tat pratikurvanti. A devotee never, reacts to an offense done. Why does a devotee never react to an offense which is done? Definitely he is merciful. He is bhavya. He can digest any poison. Therefore, he does not react. But another reason is the material nature has already started reacting on that person. And the reaction is going to come sooner or later. Devotee doesn't have to take revenge. A devotee has nothing to do to take revenge because that will automatically happen by arrangement of material nature. Right? Only a devotee needs to see is just pray to Krishna that one day that person can become Krishna's sumukhasya and Daivat sudharmashilasya and therefore sukhitasya. So that is the only prayer that a devotee has. Okay. We'll end here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Any questions? Okay, thank you. Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.